People confide in me. This happens mainly because I'm quiet, and I seem to be interested in things I shouldn't be, which is why a business partner invited me to dinner recently to meet his girlfriend. During the call, his voice had an air of intrigue. One other thing, he said, we don't need to mention this to anyone at the office. I nodded gravely, of course. This man, who I'll call Jay, had a wife in San Diego and subsequently explained that he'd been miserable for years and would have blown his brains out if one of his life annuities hadn't started going through the roof. So instead of opting for work that kept him at home, he took any assignment from his company to travel around the world to look for new vendors to make parts for any of the 1,000-odd products. To put a finer point on it, his life consisted of chasing pennies across Southeast China, Mexico, India, or Vietnam. Filthy communities where he could shave a fraction off the cost of manufacturing a steel bearing to fit, say, the motor inside a child's toy. These fractions, he insisted, amounted to millions of dollars over a short time. Though his marriage was falling apart, Jay's wife wasn't aware that it had officially ended. It was with this knowledge that I was introduced to Karen, his new girlfriend, over cocktails in a dimly lit steakhouse in the recesses of a remote suburban neighborhood far from Jay's home. Karen was in her early 30s. She had dark hair, a wide, ingenuous smile, and a penchant for intense flirting the moment Jay's attention turned. She didn't make anything obvious. She simply held my gaze a moment longer than necessary, leaned in a bit too close when I spoke, and placed her hand on my knee in a particular way, as if to say she could be mine for the asking. I listened to Jay share his adventures abroad with an enthusiasm I hadn't seen in years. He'd lost weight and carried a renewed purpose and energy. He leaned into Karen to suggest his desire and stake his claim. Karen responded lovingly. Then, when Jay turned his attention back to me, Karen did as well. I've known for a long time that we aren't who we say, but I've only recently understood that we are fundamentally a vessel for secrets. We watch truth unfold around us but disregard it. I've been in Jay's seat before, and I wonder if it's worse to be a witness to lies or ignorant to them. When it's time to leave, he shakes my hand with a firm double handshake, another assurance that I will share nothing of this. I wink at him. He turns as Karen gives me a hug. I feel her hot, wet breath in my ear and feel uncomfortably aroused at her embrace. When she disengages, she looks deeply into my eyes. Do you like me? Do I attract you? I love him, but I will love you too. All you have to do is ask.
You ready? Broken heart.
I had a broken heart for 6 years. I went to fix it a few weeks ago at a hospital. The doctor kept me for 8 days, said I needed a procedure and a regimen of drugs and a pacemaker, all the amazing medical technology available to make my heart completely bionic. The hospital was formidable and prestigious. Every day multitudes came to see me. They were concerned with whether I was comfortable, enjoying the food, being well serviced. But none inquired about the root cause of my broken heart. No integrative healers, no query into the interrelationship between mind, body, and spirit. I went ahead with the procedure, but passed on the drugs or the pacemaker. It was a wrenching decision made on the operating table, much to the disdain of my doctor, who knows better than him. Less than a week later, I went to Burning Man, the arts festival in the desert, known for radical self-expression and extreme conditions. Most thought it was reckless of me so soon after my procedure, but I was determined and made special arrangements to be airlifted out should my health fail. But in Black Rock City, a miracle occurred. Amid the heat, the dust, the music, and the drugs, I found myself at the Temple of Flux, the sacred structure built for reflection and gratitude. I sat and reflected on my 6-year journey of countless trips to the hospital to have my heart shocked back into rhythm, the toll it had taken on me and my loved ones. And I gave thanks at that temple for avoiding the odious burden of a pacemaker I surely didn't need. You see, I like my heartbeat. Even if it's a little slow at rest, it has served me well. I don't need drugs to slow it down and a pacemaker to speed it up. All my heart really needs is a little self-loving. And I vowed then to heal myself. I have so much love in my life, so much to be grateful for, and I have opened to the infinite possibilities of love. And from that moment in the temple, my heart has beat nearly perfectly. And I will remain in practice of the greatest medicine of all, gratitude, love, and alternative healing at Burning Man.
He lies on the floor, rocking in a human pretzel shape, crying partly out loud in a wail, partly silent with his head tilted back. For a moment, in some grotesque way, he reminds me of our dog laying out on the back porch, snapping at flies. I step into the room, but just barely. I'm afraid to go further to smell the stink. What is it, urine? Yes, it's that. But also too many medications, and it's all rotting in some secret corner of the walls of carpet. His adult diaper is bunched on one side, and I can see that through the skeletal angles of his body he's nearly sexless. I only know he's a man because I knew him as a baby boy, bright, beautiful, and Sesame Street books could light up his eyes and make the dimples play on his face. When I taught him how to write his name. Now he's dying. He knows it too. Maybe that's why he's crying in the fly-snapping pretzel shape. He's nipping it back and back, the death, the illness, the insanity. Get away. I step in closer, allow myself to be a part. Why are you crying, Johnny? I ask him softly. He stops howling, turning his face away from the wall to look at me. Something registers in his eyes. He recognizes me and straightens his legs a bit. Still staring, he lies there, quieted, snapping. Natalie, it's your birthday, Natalie. And he smiles, his face a wall of teeth because there's hardly any skin. I ache, wanting to reach out, to touch him and hug his bare arms full of self-inflicted scratches, but I can't. I'm afraid of his voices. But more than that, I'm repulsed. I don't want to get too close to the red puffy gums or the drool on the side of his face. I don't want his disease to touch me. Yes, Johnny, it's my birthday, I say. I can't help smiling. How does he know these things? I look around the room while he slowly draws out each word. What was your favorite year? I don't have a favorite age, I say. And I'm not going to cry, even though I already know what's coming. Mine is 14, he says, gnashing his teeth together. I know that year. I know that was the last year he'd go to school. The last year I'd see him in those eyes, wearing that skin before he was officially committed for the first time. When I leave, I'm numb. He remembered my birthday. Driving home, I see that people are eating, walking too. Sunlight filters through trees. At home, I'll celebrate another year of hopes and dreams. And back there, behind me, my little brother uncurled and smiled for me, even though he can't.